All right. Welcome to Hella Vella's Eric's first three Vella reviews. I am your host, Eric Eisen, and this is Azrael Lawless. And today we are speaking with Zack Lester, talking about his Calad- Caladrius Chronicles. I knew I would mess that up.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
All right. And got too many windows open. All right. Just so you know, these episodes are actually pretty short. What would you say the word count is on them?
Oh, I would say the first three are probably somewhere between 600 and 800 words. There are some that are a little bit longer than that, but the first three, I'd say they're around between 600 and 800 words.
All right, cool. Yeah. That's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. But unfortunately, they don't tell us until afterwards how long the episodes are, into the fourth episode. Anyway,
Yeah.
they're a little short. Now, I know this answer, and Azrael knows this answer, but our audience doesn't. Do you have other Vela offerings as well?
I do. I have one other one. It's Whispered Scream. Whispered Screams. Azrael's cracking me up. What a surprise. It's Whispered Screams. It's a short story collection. It's more of like horror, humanistic horror, as she called it during my Lawless interview. But it's a group of short story collection.
Yeah, I've actually read most of it,
Yeah.
but I keep getting sidetracked and not being able to go back to it. Anyway, so they are horror. How many episodes does it have?
35 right now.
Awesome. And is it still updating?
It is. It is. I'm working on some other new shorts to go on there, but my main focus is this one I've got currently right now. But once I get out far enough ahead, I'll put some new shorts on there.
All right. So fair warning, this may be a little spoilery. For most of these, I've only read the first three chapters. And with this particular one, I've only read the first three chapters, so it's not going to be very spoilery. Could you tell the audience a little bit about your Vela and what drove you to write it?
See, this is the spot where I was going to say Gage Greenwood inspired it to see Azrael Lawless head explode, but I won't. I won't do that. I won't do that. Well, I guess it kind of already did. But anyway, so basically, the first three episodes, when I first started writing, they were actually meant to be three separate stories, uh, and the way that
That
I
makes
write.
sense.
Right. Exactly. The way that I write is kind of, I call myself a loose thread writer. So I have this loose idea of what I want to write. And then I just sit down and the scene kind of shows to me in like a movie or TV show format kind of in my head. And I just try to keep up with all the craziness that happens. And then at one point, the characters from these first three, because the first three basically introduced the main characters of the story, they kept wanting to jump into each other's stories. This person showed up in this part, and this person showed up in this part, and well, what is this person trying to escape from? Oh, well, it's related to this guy. So they kind of started off as three separate stories where the characters just, hey, we're in the same story. I don't care what you say, you write it, or we're going to drive you crazy with it. So that's what I did. I kind of just let it go, let my characters tell the story, and that's what they've done so far. Who knows how well they're doing with it, but I blame them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I sometimes I call myself a chronicler whenever I'm writing. Like I'm trying to write everything I see as fast as I can. I'm like, okay. If people are like, oh, you need more background. Oh, okay. Well, let me go back to that. All right. So this
Right.
happened, this happened, yeah. Understand entirely.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right.
And the way the title of this story even came out is, I've always been interested in like mythological animals, things like that. And uh, I had read about this bird that was ancient Roman times, and it had the power to basically choose if somebody lives or dies. So it lived in the house of kings, and this Caladrius bird would fly in if somebody was sick, and it would lay on their bed, and if it looked you in the eye and didn't turn away, it would actually suck the disease from you and fly off to the sun and expel it into the sun, and you would survive. If it was looking at you and then turned away, that means there was no hope for you. You were a goner. So that idea and that kind of bird and that character kind of made sense with what I wanted to do with the story. And when it goes further on, it explains a little bit more than that. But that's kind of how the name came about as well.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
That's yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see how things are connecting now. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And the idea of, if you can control this bird, you basically control who lives or dies. But it gets more in depth with that.
Ooh.
All right. Well, that's cool. Let's since this is a review, let's flip this around and have Azriel ask me questions.
Okay.
And
So I didn't hear a
Oh.
summary. Are you going to read a summary this time?
actually, I also didn't ask him about his main characters, but yeah. Let's go ahead and read the summary here. Now, now this is basically from the blurb. When Ella's rescuers free her from the lab that she's always called home, it sets off a chain of events that threatens to destroy what's left of the world. Can Ella and her newfound protectors win a fight of survival against a maniacal doctor who will stop at nothing to get her back? There's only one way to find out. All right. So that is the summary. And yeah, it's and we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right. So is it in current times, or is it back in ancient Rome?
It's actually in future times, but the main baddie of this story, if you will, is kind of obsessed with it, with this idea, and there's, because it's the first three, there's more that explains more in coming episodes, but it's basically this evil doctor that has this lab that he's running, and he's kind of obsessed with this idea of of who lives and who dies.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Now, your main characters, as far as I could tell, were Ella, or the main characters were Ella, Hunter, and Jake.
Yes.
And they each all seem to be in the same place. I did pick up on that. And I think we kind of got off.
Yeah, but we can go forward, and I can go ahead and start asking questions.
Okay.
That's my job here, is just to make you all scatterbrained as possible. That's what I'm here for.
There you go. Well, you're doing a great job. So, what was your favorite part? This is for Airik, not you.
Well, I really liked it. It's more like favorite parts, because each character is going through something completely different, and so it makes it kind of hard to nail down, well, what was my favorite part in the first story, but what I really like is, it seems like these characters have really great camaraderie between the other characters in their individual story, which makes me believe in the future they'll probably have really great camaraderie together. and you know, I like that whenever the character does have like that one person that they can always turn to.
Yeah. That sort of friends till the end kind of.
Yeah, until the wheels fall off, sort of people. Yeah.
Oh, and they will.
We're not talking about the wheels of your sanity, Zach Lester.
Oh.
We're talking about
Well, those fell off a long time ago.
something else. I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about something else. All right. Now hush over there, you. I'm gonna mute your mic. All right. So Airik, you know, you're good at all this stuff. So what did or didn't work in the first three of the Caladrius Chronicles, you two?
There was a lot of tension built. There was a little bit of world building, which was kind of interesting, but it did seem a little on the random side. Like, I'm sure if I read past or episode 3, it would start falling into place. But
oh, I wouldn't bet on it.
but
sorry.
It did feel a little bit random, and I think it might have been better if there was actually more interaction between the 3 main characters.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not really like me saying, oh, this doesn't work. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did you feel like it was enough to draw you in, or as a reader, did you need more?
I mean, it did draw me in. Like each story was interesting, but like the lack of their connection yet was I kind of like, what, I don't know. It felt a little scattershot, but I mean, I know that it's going somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I get it. But you know, we're Vella
Zack's-
authors. Okay.
yeah.
All right. And you know, Zack subjected himself to this. If he wanted me to pat him on the head, I'm sure he'd have said, go ahead, pat me on the head. But we're trying to make some magic in 3 free episodes to make these stingy mofos buy some more coins and read our stories past episode 3. So that's what this show is about. So did you feel the magic, or did you need more?
I did need more, but, and something you just said actually sparked this in my head. That might not be a bad thing, because, you know, you're like, you kind of stop and you're like, whenever the episode's over, you're like, okay, so what happens next? And in that, you know, he did a really good job, you know, because it's like, oh, in one of the episodes, someone's escaping from somewhere and there's this place in the fence where they can get through, and it's like, okay, does she make it?
Are these characters in the same place?
Yeah, I think they're on the same place. They're in the same world. Are they in the same facility
Building.
building?
So at the beginning, 2 of them are, and one is not, but he's in outskirts in a city, so it's not far from where they are. So they're all in the same like area of the world, if you will.
You know, it could be something as simple to connect those. If they're in the same building, it could be something as simple as having them walk past the same ridiculous piece of art and have some reaction to it. And then your reader would snap to and go, oh my God, they're in the same building. Right. He's on that same floor that my other guy was on 10 minutes ago.
Right. In an upcoming episode, like I would say probably episode 4, episode 5, they do come smack dab into each other. But I especially with and I agree with that's one of the things I'm going to ask at the end of this is
oh, don't you spoil it, don't you do it.
Sorry.
Don't you do it.
Yeah,
I'm moving on. I'm moving on with my
you
next
have to surprise
question.
me.
You know, Eric's over there going, his eyeballs are sticking out on stems going, you know what, this is my show. You're off the thing. You're off the, you are off the list.
Okay. Right now, he's regretting having me on. I can feel it.
I can feel it, man. Anyway, so what were your favorite bits of lore? I probably didn't even have time to get any in the 3 episodes.
No, I mean, there were some very minor lore drops. I could tell by the technology that it was science fiction, although I could tell by, you know, just reading over the list that it was science fiction. But, you know, there wasn't a lot of lore to latch onto.
Yeah, this is coming. We might skip that question from now on unless we are on a big somebody's writing 5,000 word episodes, because maybe you get a little bit of lore at that point, but I don't know. Well, okay, so before I shut up and let him, he's about to pop over there, before I let him have the floor and ask his questions, which none of us know what the questions are that he is coming up with, people. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to go ahead and ask these 2 safe and sane questions here of Airik. Airik, what is your overall rating of this here Vella based on the first 3?
I would give it a 5, because there were a lot of elements that made it very interesting to read.
Was the writing good?
Oh yeah, he's a great writer.
Yeah. Okay. There's that question ain't even on here, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, yeah. Yeah, no, he's a great writer. He definitely knows his craft.
And I'm gonna say probably on the fun to read meter, it's gonna be on up there.
Yeah, the tension was pretty great. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I did actually enjoy this.
Yeah.
But so
that's why you are a natural born critic. You really, really are. It's like, yeah, I forgot this didn't suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm toast. It's you, Zachy.
Now for the random QA portion. Ask me any 2 questions about my thoughts on your Vella, or just anything in general.
So my first thought was, and you kind of already touched on it. It was the question of, is there anything you would have liked to seen? We've talked about details. Just you and I have had conversation about details in the past. How much detail you put into something? Was there like a specific thing you'd like to see more details in the first 3 episodes, or just more like, because you're right, they're very short, very small. So I could definitely see how adding some more details would help. But is there like a specific thing that you read the first 3 that you felt needed more details? And you can't say all of it.
All of it. It was just terrible. No, I'm kidding. No, a little bit more. I mean, I'm not a big scenery person, as anyone that, well, minus Maiden Bloom, I kind of went overboard on that, but a little more explanation of where they are might help. But other than that, no, I think you did good.
Thank you. So if anybody knows me, they know sometimes I just can't help myself. Okay, all the time I just can't help myself. So I'm going to waste my second question here, but okay. I think it's a very valid one that needs answered. And you are You are the person I feel like can answer this question for me with a lot of detailed thought.
Okay.
So, in your opinion, in a street fight, who would win between a Munchkin from the Wizard of Oz versus an Oompa Loompa, and why? I guess that's two questions. I hope that's okay.
Well, I think we killed Az over there.
The Lollipop Guild is going.
Right. And that's the question. Do they have the lollipops with them in the fight? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, okay. So when you say the Lollipop Guild or the Munchkins and Wizard of Oz, I automatically thought of the Lollipop Guild too, and how they always carry a lollipop on their shoulder, which the Oompa Loompas, never really carried anything with them. So I'd probably say it would be the Munchkins if it was from the Lollipop Guild, because they would just smash their faces with candy.
That's actually, I like that answer.
Did the Oompa Loompas have nothing they could have countered with other than
a jolly song and maybe some dance moves? I don't know. If it was a break dance fight, who knows?
If it was a breakdance fight, the Oompa Loompas would have that unlocked, because
For sure.
those lollipop kids, they've got like 3 or 4 dance moves. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, man, they might do this, and that would be it. That's really all they got.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes. What is
Zack.
wrong with you?
You ready? Huh?
I'm ready.
What's wrong with you?
How much time do you have? What's your recording budget like? What? I can break out the scroll. I can a lot. And
So did you answer the question, Eric?
Yeah.
A lot of things. Yeah.
Which one did you say? The
I said it
Guild?
would be the Lollipop Guild. Yeah.
The Guild.
If it was like a dance battle, it would definitely be. But otherwise, no. If it was just an all-out drag-out fight, it would definitely be the Lollipop Guild.
Oh my God! You wasted one of your questions on that.
I told you I can't help myself. This is my cry for help. Please, someone help me. So these are the things that run through my head. I actually had like a whole scenario of what happens if they would. What is the, like, I would assume the Munchkins would have the quickness on them, and the Oompa Loompas would have the weight. So if an Oompa Loompa ever connected with a shot, but then you're right. Eric brings up, do they have the lollipops? They always have the lollipops. Of course they do. You wouldn't even see it coming.
That's right. I'd shank you with that so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Oompa Doompa, ow, you're out. It's game over. That's an excellent point.
Well, this has been insane.
Right. Well, that ends the review part. I just want to let everybody know all of Zack's Vella's will be linked below. If you want more from me, you can check into one of my 6 offerings: my psychological horror Jacked, my urban fantasy The Fearless Adept, my dark fantasy Maiden Bloom Age of Myths Book 1, and he's read that. Any of my anthologies that I've done as one of the Vella authors, and Zack is also a Vella author. Season 1, Horrors of Sentitech Anthology. Season 2, Life After Death. Season 3, If Time Moved Both Ways. Those are all by the Vellans Florilegium. And actually, Season 3 is the one that Zack is in as well.
Eric, I'm not sure saying that is going to sell anybody to read it.
Well, I don't know. I can't pronounce half the shit, but I've got to say that I love short stories and I love anthologies. And all these voices are so good, you guys. So there's definitely a link going to be down here to these anthologies. So if you guys want a sampler, this is definitely a good one with some good writers giving you a sample of what they can bring. And Airik has been the one to put all this together.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And he does a great job with it. He really does.
yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure it
Appreciate
makes
that.
him crazy, but you know,
Thanks.
it's like herding cats. I can't
Absolutely.
imagine. God, I cannot
Absolutely.
imagine.
Oh, no. Can you? I mean, it's tough. I don't know how he does it.
I don't either, but
I bug people every day whenever, like the day before, like the week before that it's supposed to come in. I'm just like, hey, how's your thing coming? Oh, good. Yeah. Anyway, if you write Vellas and you want to become a Vella writer, you can find us on Facebook with searching the words Vellans, which is VELLAINS, or you can check us out on our website, vellans.com. All right. And with that, I believe we are done.
all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.